Welcome to the parody where we tally up the victims in all our favorite movies. Today is a special one. It's because I'm Justy Natalie Rose, and today we're looking at my directorial debut film, Deadville Death Strikes, released in 2020. Yes, I know the title card says Deadville Death Strike, but something happened and I probably misremembered the name. Deadville Death Strikes is one of my first long-form pieces of Roblox content to come out after the Roblox Ragdoll Show Season 1. It was initially meant to be billed as the Roblox Ragdoll Show movie, but eventually I probably changed my mind. But don't let all of that fool you. Deadville Death Strikes went on to be a whole franchise that I coined the Deadville Saga, and got 2 more sequels released in 2021 and 2022. And as you can expect from a name such as Deadville Death Strikes, a whole lot of death does indeed happen. After being recorded, it was released about 2 to 3 days later on August 12th, 2020. And this really goes to show that for at least a GGF 801 channel, some of the simplest things made for fun can grow to be one of the biggest things on the channel. That can very easily be proven, as it is the 31st most viewed public video on GGF 801, and the second most popular GGF 801 film, right behind Untitled Meme Movie. To this day, 2.5 years later, it still remains a very special movie for me. And even though it's not like great or anything, I can still value it as a kind of good movie due to how special it is to me as my directorial debut. And you have to appreciate this thing's range in scenery and genre. It could be a racing film, a bitch to count kill fest, a comedy, a crappily edited disaster movie, and basically a hack and slash slasher. Oh, and a road trip movie, all squeezed together within 100 minutes. The movie's main story follows an unnamed character, who I'll just refer to as Just, as that is the character's name in the Roblox Ragdoll Show. It's about him having to delve into Deadville's wacky comedic secrets. But really, there's no plot to speak of. It's really just a wacky kill fest where anything goes. It still tries to contain a plot though, although it is squeezed into the last 10 minutes, and I'm not saying that's bad. You can still get some modicum of enjoyment from this movie in whatever part it has. And I'm also not saying it's great. As I said, it has a very heavy incoherent structure. It's really fast kinetic pacing in the last 10 minutes compared to the rest of the film, and stuff that reeks of dead memery. But as my first feature film, it just feels special, and that basically kind of prevents it from being bad. And also, some of the sequences in this movie are really hard to count since a lot of kills happen basically back to back, so I apologize if the counting gets messy, but still, let's see how many people died in our Memeville adventure and get to the— Hold up just right there. Are you thirsty? Do you crave drinking? Are you in the Sahara Desert? If so, try our new Bloxy Cola. It'll make you sure that you will have a successful life from here on out. We're not actually sure of that. No, side effects of Bloxy Cola include making weird noises and possibly death. We heavily advise you drink it in public. So, what are you waiting for? Buy Bloxy Cola right now for only $19.99. Huh, that was weird. An ad for Bloxy Cola? Side effects are weird, but hey, I want to try it. But anyways, I was trying to get to the kills and that thing interrupted me. So, how many people died in our fantastic Deadville adventure? Let's find out, and finally, after 4 minutes, get to the kills. The movie begins with an inventory rearrangement for our main character decides to audition for SNL. It's clear that this is a very lovely town with friendly faces everywhere and humble folks without temptation. It's clear that there's ample parking day or night and people spouting howdy neighbor. But we get cut short when we see a tunnel before someone gets the chance to say, it's the resource to some weird underground laboratory that everyone has apparently just found out about. It's clear that there are a lot of rooms in this place to explore, but Just ultimately decides to go for the room with the big man, eventually when it starts working. And when it does, Just decides to have the great opportunity. They want to jump off and die for our first kill. Oh my god, they killed Just! You title card! Eventually we get to the main portion of the movie. And we already have to deal with idiots in the road being killed by giant cars and even further dragged by other cars. This blue house is the town's hotspot, so Jess decides to go inside it. And what you got playing on the TV? Hold up, Jess, right there. Oh, that's cool. This goes on for a long while. Some of them can't even help it. They got baseball bats to get out all the damn clutter. Eventually, Jess is like, fuck this I'm out, and sees a dead body. And eventually, Jess is killed by a car that doesn't even hit him. You know, other than all the constant deaths, it's a fun day in town for everybody. Well, except Gotcha Girl Violet. An assassination brings Reddit to rest. Those guys really do need a damn rest. But eventually, later on, after Violet disappears, we get our first murder as Ink Devil hits Jackie with a baseball bat. And that's another body over there. Come the fucking on, Deadville. And eventually, Jess takes a stroll. Oh, what is that? Another frozen body and two more right there? Jess takes a stroll to the graveyard where there's literally a guy named Hot Dog stuck in the grave. And on the other side of the street, everyone is dying of absolute laughter. Jess makes a change of direction and witnesses the death of another person getting ran down. They also dare Lizard Gamer to run across the road when they get hit by a car. And across the street back at the graveyard, we also have another person laughing, but this time it's at a dead body in a grave. Ja'Cory comes up behind Jess and starts being an asshole, and Jess asks the once favorite question, do you want die? Now we get our film's racing portion, where Jess falls extremely behind, and eventually finishes in an undisclosed place at the end of this enormous race. And eventually they jump into a saw and have their entire body cut into pieces to start our first kill montage. After Almar makes an appearance on the count, Jess jumps off a rope from about 15 feet in the air. They run themselves over with a train, have an arm and leg cut off on a circular saw, gets entirely dismantled by a big circular saw, jumps off of an extremely high bridge, lets someone else onto the count, lets another soul onto the count, has an arm and legs cut off on a circular saw, drown underwater, and eventually for the most badass kills of the movie, Midasabo and Jess getting compacted and cut all to hell. First of all, burning phase, second of all, cutting phase, and then third of all, off-screen crushing phase. Another body in the sweet release of death, spikes that cause awfully weird physics, another circular saw kill that cuts her body to pieces, and eventually probably two bodies that square off the count. Whew, thank God, I was getting fucking sick of that sequence. Just eventually makes his way over to the free hat and hair shop to change clothes and get new hair and go back to get a new hat, but Albert is dead in the road. Jess goes back to enter the house and discovers that, they're playing the new Bloxy Cola commercial again. Eventually exiting the blue house, Jess discovers 5 bodies we never saw before, 1 already there, and 4 from that big car. Because of this, Jess decides to do some of them 1700 sea shanties. And there's an entire group of people over here to join Jess in the 1700 sea shanties. Just shanties over to the big blue house to discover that they're not playing the... Aw, damn it! They're playing the commercial again. This commercial, I'm out. They continue their R-ing outside, and eventually, across the street, there's something weird. A fucking body. Sea shantying can also be dangerous. I honestly suggest being ran over, but not this guy. But eventually, Jess' dreams are fulfilled as he has an entire army of sea shantiers. Let me name you the 3 people Jess has surrounding him. First of all, Albert Fluffy, who we saw as a dead body earlier. Next up is Now, who we have not seen in the movie thus yet, but does have a blue shirt. Last up is Mateo, who is not doing the sea shanty, but has appeared a few times throughout. Soundman tells the sea shantiers to stop sea shantying, and he gets his wishes when 3 of them die. Mateo doesn't. This does not deter Jess from sea shantying further. Jess stops the shantying and protests the smug emoji, which gets them killed from the big car. And after we see another body, Jess gets sped up completely into a wall. We see another body on the ground before Jess lands on some spikes. In the end, that was a very short kill montage. And we go back to our usual Deadville hijinks. The only things getting me through this episode are kills, so Let's have this guy get ran over completely. Oh, and let's have Albert Fluffy get killed by a car that swerves into the other lane. And it's Nerf for nothing too, I guess? And someone else gets dragged? This is getting confusing. Also, Just has been getting pushed this entire time by a gray man, and eventually his work is cut out for him as a car slams into Just. After that, Just drives back into town after a murder. God damn it, you do not have to do that again. But eventually, Just makes it back into town, and everything's completely normal, except for the fact that there's a decapitated head and another one right around the corner, both victims of a grenade. But we do get a refreshment in the terms of a new location for restaurant, and Just suggests, like, you know, going onto the road. But we also have to do more stuff in the movie that does not just entirely consist of restaurant shenanigans. Like having a natural 3 more bodies be showcased in this new part of Deadville that we've already seen once. The restaurant has a back to it, so of course Just has to go back there to see all the grease. But like, you know, grease does have one complaint with it, giving them one of these onto the road, which causes hit and runs caused by unsuspecting drivers. Right outside the restaurant, there's a woman in Deadville advertising the restaurant with great food and great prices.
You're literally just advertising your neighborhood.
Just also promises that there are Pizza Pie Brother the show there, and that there will be great chances of death coming out. The establishment is going pretty well, with customers and a whole stack of employees. But bazinga this, bazinga that, bang! You're dead! Meanwhile, Just ran Robux into a yellow house in order to get a hoodie. Or no, a bean shirt. But bean shirts do cause major issues for people on the curb, as after an inventory change happens again, Camden is seen dead, along with one other person. Soon enough, we're already tired of the bean shirt, so we have to get a blue hoodie that has to take a few seconds to load. Just kicks their way into my favorite location of the film, since guess what? No one dies! So anyways, Just decides to run themselves over with a car after spouting out dead memes inside the restaurant. Thus kicks off another race sequence, which I sure don't hope is followed up by another death montage. And it's up to Just to win the race and have their arm cut off on a circular saw. But also on the road there's another body, and oh come on! Just comes back to the dead only to find out that there is in fact another body on the road. And it's up to Just to be the deadest person in Deadville. Anyways, skip a minute because Just is actually surviving for more than a minute, which is impressive. Just eventually decides to pull off the sickest prank in town. Lay dead in the middle of the road. That eventually gets Just to roleplay as a dead person. Wait, they're actually dead? Ah, come on again! But Just's racing career continues. And 16 seconds later, it results in a very close win. And oh my god, I knew I should have seen a Just death coming. And Just is actually going back to town. Oh, great. I hope the death actually ends for Just. But in town, we get some sad news. Biggie Cheese is seen dead on the curb, with somebody dancing on him. They already murdered him once before. Why did they need to do it again? Also, this red house involves a hidden red hoodie that Just puts on. And apparently when Just goes back down on the town square, someone's having nightmares about being hit by cars. Well, I have bad news for you, buddy. It turns out that 6 people die from a giant car in its casualty destruction. Just takes an immediate stroll back into living coming from the afterlife, but it's not too long. They get ran over by a car. Coming back from the afterlife once again, they notice a dead body on spikes. And someone else on the freaking chimney. And Just joins them, getting killed on spikes. Oh, good news! It feels like this is another montage. There's a body on spikes, and well, Just jumps onto a saw blade and gets some of her limbs chopped off. And they also jump on a saw blade. They spill their body onto the street below. There's a dead body in a graveyard. And oh, I guess that's enough to end the kill montage. But remember how I said I was probably lying? Oh, I didn't. Oh, and an pretty ambitious turn to jump off a helicopter and land on the train, actually being chopped in half. Oh, and they even step on a green thing. Chapark is seen standing up and dead, and Just decides to die again. And there's also 2 more dead bodies in downtown. And like with last time, that's enough to finally end this death montage.
Just runs inside the occupied blue house in order to get a regular hoodie from the house, and outside there's a dead body with a grenade. Run! Oh, they got away just in time. And eventually, Just can find the weird and wacky secrets of Deadville, thanks to a tunnel built into the random mountain. They go inside to find a random just office in the middle with multiple protruding rooms. First of all, there's some cells. Afterwards, Just looks into all these random rooms. First up, this room, which they just run into the door, only to find out there's just beans. And there's also many other rooms that we don't really get to see the inside of for a bit. After just standing for a while, Just runs into this blue... Why are you standing again? When they go inside, there's really nothing of much to know inside there, but because there's nothing. But inside this room, there's just a guy sitting down. Great! And whatever this is going on inside this room. And there's also this room that we can't exactly... Oh, we can't open it. But there's just a tank top in there. Alright. And a room with blood. There's a room with a guy sitting on a tree. And across from that, there's a room with... Oh, green and yellow panels. What happens when you touch them? Well, you die. What the So anyways, Just respawns from that weird nonsensicality, only to discover that there are two bodies, one next to the stairs, and one just dismantled on the railroad tracks. So Just goes back in town for the first time, 10 minutes? And there's the big glowing blue guy. Just great. You know what also is great? Bam. You're dead again. Just is getting sick and tired of having to count two dead bodies in the graveyard. And yeah, it's a drag, I know. So I have a solution. Kill everybody! Wait, what? Yeah, Just says that everyone should die, and if they don't, editing will get them dead. And Just should have known that would make everybody want to not die. But they do get a supporter when this guy literally dies in the middle of the graveyard. And there are also two more people that follow suit with that. While Just is repeating and repeating their mantra, they get the best of what they're gonna get. Because they just run in the road and die from a car that hits them. Should've looked both ways. They come back to the exact same server for some reason, to where they repeat their mantra again. After a few more repeatings of that stupid mantra, editing can fall into the hands of death. And yes, this is where the fire begins. What did I think this crappy green screen fire would do? Just kill everybody? No, but it somehow does anyways. Yeah, it does in fact kill everybody, because in Robloxia times, it states that 43 people died in that fire. So there, Deadville falls to shambles, and I'll list 42 normal people as being killed by this fire. And Just, well, they die from the fire eventually. Oh, when we do get some extras after that fire ends, because we have 5 minutes of the film remaining. Oh yeah, this is the slasher portion of the movie, so our first victim has to be the sheriff. A complete coincidence, but then two more people end up dying in the main office. There's another unsuspecting person around the corner, so they get got too. And oh, what's this? There's a bacon here? Well, just chase them down the hall and kill them anyways. There's another girl that ends up being sliced, and another unsuspecting person in the hallway. And finally, two AFK people inside the entrance, giving Just a victory. Eventually, we get my proof paper, and then bam, the credits start. But there's also a mid-credit scene that takes place on the evacuation car. It is a place where people can get themselves run over. Twice, in fact. This random new person tells everyone that evacuation is fun. And that, did you know, I was actually by the, place where the fire began, Sierra City, yeah, so that's why I'm here. This, mid-credit scene and this explanation is just where the movie ends, as after this, the credits continue. And also, Just is getting a bonus tonight, so, add all of their deaths to the list, and, take all of her deaths out of her own list to make that 0. How many residential residents ran out of money to pay for their life taxes? Let's find out and get to the...
Hey, I got some words to say.
Oh, sure, you can do that. So, what words you got to say?
This one called
you're going too far.
No, I'm not, you Uh-oh. Gay?
Oh man, did you just call me gay? Well,
Are you over with this?
probably, yeah, sure.
Alright, good. No, just walk off.
Well, you.
God. I just can't get to the numbers normally anymore. By my count, there are 162 kills in Deadville Death Strikes, one more than Wreck-Free Genesis. Pretty nice kill count for a directorial debut. The victims consisted of 69 men, 40 male just, 10 women, and 43 unknowns, giving us an almost 2-to-1 ratio combined with all the dudes. With a runtime of 100 minutes, that left us with a kill on average just over every 37 seconds. Amethyst Flamethrower is tough since there are frankly not that many kills that deserve the award. However, I'll give it to Midasabo and Just. This is guaranteed to get a holy shit out of you the first time you see it. Broken Pistol, I'm not gonna give one out today. There are just so many options I just can't choose. But anyways, that's it. Deadville Death Strikes came out in 2020 and, as I said at the beginning, currently has 2 sequels. I'll look at the first one, Deadville Death Strikes again sometime else, and yeah, that one will actually be next, but until then, I'm Dusty Natalie Rose, and this has been the Parody. Thanks a lot for watching this parody. If you didn't notice the number beneath me, it's supposed to count how many times I say the word shit in this episode, as a reference to the South Park episode It Hits the Fan. And also, the credits are now going to be to my left. Shrek will probably be delayed to sometime in April. And yeah, Deadville Death Strikes again will be up next, so thanks for watching!